It's supposed to be rainy today, but it's actually quite sunny, as you can see. It's about the sunniest day I've encountered. Though still a bit of moisture on the ground there, though. But looking good. I'm going to check out Coles and we'll just see how their shelves hold up against Woolworths, who really the only major deficiency I could see at Woolworths was the bread section, which was sort of like from the commercial bakeries as opposed to the products that are baked on site. So that didn't affect me in the slightest, to be honest with you. So I did find things there that I just didn't see at Coles, but Coles have had some flights coming in. And I think they still can't make it by road because Townsville has had more rain than we have. But it's looking more like a normal day here now. A little bit of a breeze. Actually, the humidity's not too bad, but it's 10 o'clock in the morning, so it's a good time to get out. So yeah, fingers crossed that there's some stuff I can buy at Coles, because they were deficient in virtually every item last time I was there. Well, I'll just see how we go. I'm happy to report that Coles has been pretty well restocked. No major shortages. Slight niggles, which you always get with certain things not being available, but nothing out of the ordinary. Apparently some of the trucks are getting through from Townsville now, and obviously the air shipments have made the difference. So it looks pretty normal. Nothing like what it was around a week ago, so looks like we're over the worst of it, which is good, but maybe they need to do something about upgrading the truck route, although these flights have been unprecedented, so you don't want to over-engineer for situations that may not occur for another 100 years. So I can understand that. I'd rather the money go into building dams. That would be a smart move, so we can harvest this water, because there'll be another big dump at some stage before catastrophic floods. It's weather, it's on a cycle, so there'll be situations to harvest a lot more water in the future, and hopefully next time we'll be ready for it if we can maybe get some less brain dead politicians in this country prepared to look at the future rather than next election cycle. That's asking a lot. There's sun. Lots of it. Mind you, it could be pissing down to Savo. It could be pissing down in an hour's time. You just never know. But at the moment, we have sun. So that's good. Not that I want to be walking it for too long. It's pretty warm at the moment. But I haven't really been caught in the rain. I think I copped it with one shower. Because the day the guy pointed out to me it was windy. Very helpful information that was, as my umbrella was being thrown across the street virtually. So get back to normal. Hopefully it won't cop monsoonal rains in Vietnam. Unlikely this time of year, but you know, weather the way it is. Yeah, I do remember they had some pretty bad weather. I think it's more like mid-year, because it's the wet season in Thailand around June, July, and similar in Vietnam, I think. It's not a bad day today. We're getting some normal weather again. This is good. Consistent sunny weather. It's actually not as humid today. There's a bit of a breeze, so it's quite nice. I actually, there's one of those 4 lease signs that it seemed to be all around the city. They're even reporting the fact that the economy's not doing so well in the Cairns Post. They seem to be a little late on the uptake, but they've got that story there now. Definitely there are issues here. People up here tend to think they get a raw deal from Canberra, but I suppose a lot of Australians feel exactly the same way there. But yeah, they tend to feel as though they've been forgotten. this part of Queensland as opposed to the southeast where the bulk of people live. So there's a bit of a chip on the shoulder, I think, and I'm not saying it's not justified either, by the way. It could well be. I mean, as I say, the one thing they need to just start doing is building dams, but they're probably worried about the backlash from the Greens and their lobbyists. I think it's time for some of our politicians to grow a spine and not bend to these pressure groups so easily. They don't represent the bulk of Australians, and they need to really think about what the average person wants, not what some fringe group that can have some very extreme views. It's one thing I agree with my old man. He always said that he couldn't stand extremists, and I tend to agree with him. So, but there seems to be a lot of pressure groups that have these niche policies, and they push them, not necessarily the good of everybody in the country. But anyway, getting onto the retail situation, the economy here. I mean, the retailers don't do themselves any favours. Like, I went to Kmart yesterday. I just wanted to get a new electric shaver because the one I've got seems to be dying in the backside. It still works, but you can just hear that the revs aren't there what they used to be. I don't think it's cutting as effectively. So I found a rechargeable model online on eBay. I decided to buy it there because I originally wanted to pick up one locally at Kmart for about $25, which was fine, and no doubt a Chinese model, but that's okay. I'll give it a go. At that price you can't really go wrong. So I went to Kmart, and I asked the girl who checks the bags at the entrance where to go. She said the beauty section, which seemed a bit strange because it's all female goods, and I thought it'd be more in the electrical area, but I went to that section and I couldn't find it. I decided to look up online, and I found a very similar looking model that had good reviews too. You don't get reviews on Kmart. You do with the Target online site. They have reviews of products, but you don't get that with Kmart. And I mean, the girl was quite apologetic when I sort of walked out and I said I just couldn't find it, and she didn't seem that surprised, to be honest with you. So maybe there's a lot of items missing at Kmart. It's not good, you know. If you have them listed online, you would expect that the product is there, but they don't keep tabs on the stock. So anyway, we just bought it on online. So Australian retailers miss out again to online. So it's just their bad luck. And it was about the same price. The only downside of that is I'll probably be overseas in a couple of weeks, and I want to make sure I get it before I leave. And being in Cairns, you've got to give yourself plenty of time for the mail to get here, because it ain't that reliable. Now this footpath should be okay at the moment because we've had a day of dry weather for a change, so should be walking. But as I say, they don't do themselves any favours, and apparently Kmart aren't doing well as part of the Westpac group, because I've got a friend who owns Westpac shares, and there was a breakdown of the different sections of that under the West Farmers banner, and Kmart didn't report particularly good earnings. So there you go. I mean, if you don't have the stock there, what do you expect? But the same thing applies for Coles, in my opinion. They seem to lack a lot of stock at times, and not just because of the floods. And it's a missed opportunity if you don't have the things on the shelves. Please consider subscribing to my channel if you think there's anything there of use to you, or entertainment or whatever. And either do that or give me a thumbs up, or if you're feeling really energetic, do both. That'd be great. But please don't ignore me. That's the worst thing you can do on YouTube, is be ignored.